Hello everyone, Hannah Kiley, Director of Religious Exploration, and I want to thank you again for being here with me. Our 7 days of Chalica have come to an end. Each day we've been invited to reflect on the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism, starting with day 1 with the first principle, and to today where we reflect on the 7th principle. Chalica Day 7. We covenant to affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Our children's version, we take care of the earth. Our chalice lighting for today. We ignite this eternal flame core of our earth and of our very being. We call upon the foundation of molten rock. We call upon the electricity of lightning. We call upon the light of celestial stars. Fire within, transform us with your power.
Hello, today we're going to be reading Over in the Meadow by John Langstaff. Over in the meadow, in the sand and the sun, lived an old mother turtle and her little turtle one. Dig, said the mother, I dig, said the one. So he dug and was glad in the sand and the sun. Over in the meadow where the tall grass grew, lived an old mother red fox and her little foxes too. Run, said the mother, we run, said the two. So they ran and were glad where the tall grass grew. Over in the meadow in a nest in a tree, lived an old mother robin and her little birdies 3. Sing, said the mother, we sing, said the 3. So they sang and were glad in their nest in the tree. Over in the meadow by a tall sycamore, lived an old mother chipmunk and her little chipmunks 4. Play, said the mother, we play, said the 4. So they played and were glad by the tall sycamore. Over in the meadow in a new little hive, lived an old mother queen bee and her honey bees 5. Hum, said the mother, we hum, said the 5. So they hummed and were glad in their new little hive. Over in the meadow in a dam built of sticks, lived an old mother beaver and her little beavers 6. Built, said the mother, we built, said the 6. So they built and were glad in the dam built of sticks. Over in the meadow in the green wet bogs, lived an old mother froggy and her 7 pollywogs. Swim, said the mother, we swim, said the wogs. So they swam and were glad in the green wet bogs. Over in the meadow, as the day grew late, lived an old mother owl and her little owls 8. Wink, said the mother, we wink, said the 8. So they winked and were glad as the day grew late. Over in the meadow, in a web on the pine, lived an old mother spider and her little spiders 9. Spin, said the mother, we spin, said the 9. So they spun and were glad in their web on the pine. Over in the meadow in a warm little den, lived an old mother rabbit and her little bunnies 10. Hop, said the mother, we hop, said the 10. So they hopped and were glad in their warm little den.
Today's meditation by Jeff Liebman. Primitive humans understood and respected the power of the natural world, while humankind takes well-deserved pride in our most modern engines of harvesting of resources. We would do equally well to hone our humility, remembering that we are insignificant creatures next to the might of the sun. The temptation to succumb to the short-term benefits of our modern way of life is not sustainable. We know this well, and yet we continue to avail ourselves of our world's bounty with little care for its maintenance. As Unitarian Universalists, we must fight for the rights of our planet with no less diligence than we do for our own freedom and liberty. As congregants, we are stewards of our houses of worship. As citizens, we are stewards of our nation. And as human beings, we are stewards of our home, the earth. None of us are alone. We are, each of us, extremely interwoven with all of the rest of life. This is vitally important to understand. So much of the evil in the world comes down to disconnection. If we imagine we are small and alone, then we close the doors of our heart. If we imagine we are rulers of the earth and her resources are ours for the taking, then we will never reverse the serious danger of human-made climate change. I'd like to share with you some words from Wake Now, My Senses, one of our beloved hymns. Wake now, my vision of ministry is clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling will all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care. Please enjoy hymn 298, Wake Now My Senses.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow, giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
Perhaps there is no more important spiritual practice than the one that reminds us we are not alone, that we are all connected. How will you reconnect today? Our mindfulness and action suggestions for you and your family. Take a family walk and pick up any litter you might find. take your reusable grocery bags to the store, look up at the stars, and really, really look. I mean, really look. Put out a bird feeder and keep it stocked during the winter. The birds will thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me this week. I love each and every one of you. Blessings to you and all that you love. Happy Chalica, everyone.
Chalice for our dignity, inherent worth of the people we see. We light a chalice for justice and peace, freedom for all and for all equity. We light a chalice for encouragement, spiritual growing in congregations. We light a chalice for truth and meaning. It's up to us to continue searching. We light a chalice for democracy, the right of our conscience and society. We light a chalice for community. The goal for our world is peaceful liberty. We light a chalice to connect the web on our way forward. Together we live. Chalice we light for Chalica, 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 Chalica. For 7 nights, the chalice we light for Chalica, 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 Chalica. For 7 nights, the chalice we light for Chalica, 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 Chalica. For 7 nights, the chalice we light for Chalica, 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 Chalica. Chalice for our dignity, the inherent worth of the people we see. We light a chalice for justice and peace, freedom for all and for all equity. We light a chalice for encouragement, spiritual growing in congregations. We light a chalice for truth and meaning. It's up to us to continue searching. We light a chalice for democracy, the right of our conscience and society. We light a chalice for community. The goal for our world is peaceful liberty. We light a chalice